Who's ready to rock and roll? Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this shit again. If you can believe it, you can make it reality. If you can envision it, if you can imagine it in that big old head of yours, you can make it a reality. If it's something that's on your mind, it's something you can create. No matter what you've been through, no matter where you are right now, no matter what you believe defines you, if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to keep the vision, if you're willing to stay disciplined, if you're willing to find some kind of intrinsic motivation to keep you pushing, it's gonna happen. At the end of the day has to end. At the end of the day has to end. Why the fuck? What language am I speaking right now? At the end of the day, you are the one in control of your own destiny. And the only way you gain control over your destiny is when you gain control over your life. And you gain control over your life when you say that I am 110% in control of every single thing that happens. If somebody comes and knocks the cereal bowl out of my hand and it spills all over the ground, it's my responsibility to clean it up. That's the type of responsibility you have to have in your life. You can't sit there and think like, this happened to me and I'm owed for that. Because I had a bad childhood, you owe me this. All these things. That does nothing but hold you back from achieving what you're truly capable of. It keeps you in a victim mindset, right? Some of us are victims. Yes. We are victims of circumstances that were out of our control. Yes, absolutely. That does not mean you have to be stuck in a victim mindset where things are constantly happening to you, where things are constantly happening at you, and you are just like this like unmovable thing that's just like being impacted and swayed by all of the forces around you, rather than being a force yourself that can counteract these things that may be happening in your life and realize that, oh, the perception of these things and how I interpret these things and how I look at these things and how I embody these things in my life, I'm the one who has control over that, right? I always have to take it back to anime because I'm such a big anime nerd. And this isn't even an anime, it's just like a cartoon I really liked. Not even really liked. I love the show. Code Lyoko. Code Lyoko. The things I can tell you about Code freaking Lyoko, it's the best show on the planet, bar none. Bar none. Bar none. Yeah. I love Code Lyoko. And Code Lyoko, the first season, which is, I'll admit, it's not the best. But it has this really important plot point of Jeremy finding Aelita on Lyoko and saying, I want to make this girl who I believe is like a virtual AI being, I want to bring her into the real world. I want to show her what the real world has in store for her. So the entire season is him coming up with this materialization program that takes her from like the digital virtual world of Lyoko and materializing her as a human being that can like breathe and fart and shit. Literally. I think that show is, in that season, in that arc, in that plot line, is a great example of if you can envision it, if you can say like, I want this to happen, and you're dedicated to that goal, you can make it a reality. He literally did the impossible, right? He took a girl who's virtual, a girl who's like nothing but binary code, and he made her into like lungs and a heart that beats and legs that walk and eyes that blink and water and like cry, and because we all know Aelita cries a lot. But that's real. Me too. Like, I understand her. I'll make another video soon about like Aelita is the ultimate like CPTSD representation in the world. Okay, like nobody in the world is like matching that. But that's the kind of like assurance you need in yourself when you're chasing your goals. If your goal is to lose weight, if your goal is to get a better job, if your goal is to have your YouTube channel explode, if your goal is to become a better performer, if your goal is to make it on Broadway, if your goal is to, you know, start a healthy family or heal or move out, whatever it is, you have to have the power of envisioning it. You have to literally close your eyes and you literally have to take the time to envision exactly, vividly, what that looks like, what that feels like in your body, When you get those keys to your apartment for the first time and you unlock that door for the first time, you walk through and it's like the empty thing, you've already paid your deposit, you've already paid your rent. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Take that feeling, run with it. When you're about to step onto stage for your Broadway debut and like your dream show and the show that you're like perfect for, what does that look like? What does that feel like? You know, are the lights blue? Are the lights blinking? Is it in the middle of a dance number? Are you opening the show? Do you come on at the end of the first act? Like, envision that. Like, really, really envision that. And then also, I cannot emphasize the importance of journaling enough. I am a writer at heart. I love to write. I'm a visionary. I picture all these crazy things in my brain and I have to like write them down. So I journal every single morning. And so the best advice I can give you is to keep that vision, but also keep a log. Make sure you're writing down what you're doing to get close to that vision. You can say, I want to move out. You can say, I want a better job. But if you're not doing any training, if you're not getting more education, if you're not putting aside money, if you're not going on apartment hunts, if you're not asking the people in your community, like, hey, do you know any like leads on where I can find a place? You're not really doing the work. And a really good way to make sure that like you're doing the work is to log yourself and to like really be honest of like, okay, today I went and I posted on Facebook, does anybody know anybody who's renting? That felt like kind of weird and like I didn't really get the responses I was looking for, but like it felt good to put myself out there and to like speak it out that like, hey, I'm looking for somewhere to stay and like somebody's gonna find it and it's gonna come to me. Like that's the type of energy you have to have. And that all starts with a vision. It all starts right up here in the brain. Our mind is literally the reflection of the universe. We are the universe. We create the universe. We create the world that we want to live in. And so the sooner that we realize that power, that you're a literal superhero in your own story and that you get to create your own freaking universe, it's amazing. Really make sure you're taking the steps to envision the future that you really, really want. And maybe sometimes if you don't even know the future that you want, figure out the future that you don't want. If you don't want 7 kids by 7 different baby daddies, by 7 different baby mamas, 8 different baby mamas, I don't even know how anatomically, but like somebody's gonna find a way. If that's not the future you want, say that. Say like, no, I want like a stable family. Like I definitely don't want that. Do you want a 9-to-5 or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to live in a community or do you want to live on your own? Like these are the questions that you need to be asking yourself because these are the questions that are gonna really establish the kind of future that you live. Because if you just kind of like aimlessly wander throughout life, you're not really gonna get where you want to go. So it's really important that you take the steps to really, really, really decide who you want to be, who you're meant to be. Find that purpose. Go back to who you were as a kid. Listen to that kid and do what they want to do. And I promise you, you'll never be unhappy another day in your life. But it all starts with a vision. So go out there and envision the life you want. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you and your time. If you learned something from this video or you felt like this video was of value, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if no one else has told you this today, I believe in you and I know that your dreams are going to come true. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.